We talked about quarterback Nico Iamaleava all spring. Well, let's talk about him some more because he's getting after it at UCLA. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hey, hit that free subscribe button down below. That helps us, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. Also, feel free to share, like, and follow. That helps us out, too. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKDOWNCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So we're going to talk about Nico. He's having a good summer at UCLA by all accounts. Got some good news and bad news at Oregon. Michigan is becoming quarterback U. They got another one. And Savion Hiter news, maybe some insight. We'll talk about the five-star running back. Plus, we'll have our power rankings, stadium songs today. That'll be a blast. Hang on for that. Meanwhile, UCLA transfer quarterback Nico Iamaleava made a lot of news this spring. We talked about him a lot here on this podcast, and a lot of it wasn't good. He became the official poster boy, if you will, for the new age college football holdout this spring as a member of the Tennessee Vols. But things seem to be trending in the right direction now for him. He's having a good summer at UCLA, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But you know, following the rumors that he and some of his teammates, they almost held out on that Tennessee Vols playoff game against Ohio State. They were looking for more name, image, and likeness payments since they were going to play extra games or an extra game in the postseason. They didn't hold out after all. They did play. Didn't seem like they were focused. They got blown out by Ohio State, and then they disappeared from the limelight for a while. Then spring ball arrived, and Nico was looking for more money. Now, the story changed as we went on, but he reportedly wanted something in the neighborhood of $4 million, kind of like Carson Beck was getting after he transferred from Georgia to Miami. Everybody saw Beck driving around South Beach in his Lambo, which got stolen, by the way. Who's surprised about that? But everybody wanted theirs. Even young Michigan quarterback Bryce Underwood was supposedly getting $4 million a year. It seemed like that was the value of a starting quarterback in major college football. $4 million a year was the new number. The problem was nobody at Tennessee seemed to think Nico was worth $4 million a year. And so on the eve of the Vols spring game, Nico was a no-show. He was a holdout, old-fashioned, just like the NFL players do. But instead of getting his money, Nico was off the team within 24 hours. Coach Josh Heupel wasn't putting up with any of this. And they, quote-unquote, mutually parted ways. But I think Heupel kicked him off the team, to be honest with you. So now all of a sudden, Nico, a starting quarterback who started last season on a Heisman watch list, although it didn't pan out, it faded there. But he did land his team in the playoffs. That was a big deal. And all of a sudden, starting quarterbacks, of course, are always in demand. He was a free agent. All right. His camp just sat back and said, let the bidding war for his services begin. Except they didn't begin. There wasn't a lot of interest. The low-level schools like Tulane were interested in him, and not for big money. UCLA was kind of always floating around in there as a possibility, but nobody was willing to fork over big money to the neighborhood of $4 million a year. So in order to save face, the Nico camp, they said, hey, this was never about money. This is about getting better players and a better offense around Nico. So finally, he ended up at UCLA, and the story changed again, because that's when his camp says the move was all about family and familiarity, because he's from Southern California. So, and it was reported that he only got about $1 million to $1.5 million at UCLA, not quite the $4 million that he was seeking. And, you know, it would be also hard to argue that he upgraded offensive talent in his teammates around him, going from Tennessee, a playoff team, to UCLA, a team that has been struggling. That didn't make sense. So we didn't really buy that argument either. But now, you know, he's for whatever reason he decided, or whatever reason you want to settle on, he's now at UCLA. And look, in life, sometimes we don't take a straight line to get from point A to point B. That was the case here. Now he's at UCLA. Now he's comfortable. Now he's there. Deshaun Foster is thrilled to have him. And of course, Deshaun Foster is, looking to make a big splash in year 2 of his program as well. And the early reports, I read the LA Times. These are their words, not mine. He is dazzling people at camp. Nico is dazzling people. So, in fact, to quote the LA Times, he has a strong arm. Every pass is thrown with purpose and usually on target. Okay. People note his quick release, and it is notable how he's always making the correct reads. And those correct reads sometimes also include knowing when to scramble and bail and run, or making the right read on RPOs. And he's very athletic with his 6'6", 215-pound frame. It's very noticeable for those that are watching him every single day out there. Those are big words. Now, Deshaun Foster also noted Nico's competitiveness, his desire to win every play during the scrimmages and the practices, and he likes it. So looking ahead to the 2025 season, I'm not sure what defines success this year for UCLA. I don't expect them to take a huge jump. I do still think they need some more talent, and they have been recruiting well, but those kids are going to take another year or two to get into the fold for the most part. So I think anything better than their 5-7 record last year would be a success. I think a 6 or 7 win with Nico and UCLA gets them into a bowl. I think that is success. I think everything's trending in the right direction for Coach Foster. And I think that would be a tremendous building block for 2026 and beyond. That's my opinion looking at the program. So let's look at their schedule real quick, at least parts of it for this upcoming 2025 season, and see where they can make some hay here. They open up the season August 30th in the Rose Bowl against Utah. That could be an interesting game right off the bat. And their biggest test will be October 4th when they host Penn State. And that's until their other biggest test, November 15th, at Ohio State. So Penn State and Ohio State are both on the schedule this year. And there's some interesting battles on the slate as well. They have to travel to Indiana. Indiana was a playoff team. Indiana got them pretty good in the Rose Bowl last year. They host Nebraska, which I think is an up-and-coming team. And in fact, I think if you look at the gradual improvement in Nebraska the past 2 years with Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola, I think that's something that the UCLA Bruins could look at, kind of model themselves after. I think they're about a year behind where Nebraska is right now, just an example. And, of course, they have to take on an improved Washington team as well. And let's not forget about the crosstown rival at the end of the year against USC. So that's how I look at this season and the expectations for the UCLA Bruins and Nico at quarterback. What do you think? Let's hear from you, especially if you're a Bruin fan, Big Ten fan, your expectations. What is success for UCLA this year? Hit me up on the comments. Always love those. And no matter what you do, feel free to hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. It also helps us out. And if you could share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, that would be fantastic as well. Don't forget, we have a website at talkbig10.com. All of our podcasts go there, including this one as soon as it's done. And it's also got links to Big Ten merchandise. You want to buy some UCLA shirts, hats, jerseys, T-shirts, pennants, all that right there at Talk Big 10. That's with the number 10, talkbig10.com. Feel free to check all that out. Now, we got a lot we still need to cover here. We have a lot of news out of Oregon, actually. Some good, some bad. We'll jump in there. Also, same for Nebraska. And could a true freshman start from Michigan on their offensive line? We'll see. Plus, we got the latest. Oh, and recruiting news. We may have some inside scoop on Savion Hiter, the 5-star running back from Virginia that looks to be going to either Tennessee or Michigan. He's gonna make his announcement next week. We may know which way he's leaning. I'll tell you all about that when we come back in 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. Monarch Money, let me tell you, most people, they can't name all their financial accounts, credit cards, apps, banks, investments, all that stuff, or let alone tell you what they're worth. 401ks, properties, investments. And when you don't have a full picture of everything, you end up leaving money on the table. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings you your entire financial picture, your life, all into one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone right there. And does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in just minutes, see clear data results and visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, find out where all your money's going, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. And it makes it easy. You can pull in from your spouse or significant other, their finances, put it all together, all in one place right there on the app. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. That's monarchmoney.com. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day. We always appreciate you everydayers out there. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that free subscribe button down below. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget to check out our website, talkbig10.com. All right, let's start with the Ducks. So their former five-star wide receiver, Jerion Dickey, he's only had 2 catches in 2 years. Now he's suspended. Actions detrimental to the team. He's gotten in altercations with teammates. He's been arguing with coaches. Now, this is probationary. There was an earlier report he'd been kicked off the team. That is not the case as of now. So, the last time, by the way, an Oregon wide receiver was suspended was when Trayshawn Holden, remember he spit on a Buckeyes player during their regular season game last year. More bad news for the Ducks. True freshman and former five-star class of 25 recruit defensive back Trey McNutt suffered a broken leg in practice. He was the number 2 player out of the state of Ohio. They had high hopes for him. Still got his whole career ahead of him, but broke his right leg, and he's going to be out. Regarding the Ducks' first scrimmage this past weekend, all eyes are on quarterback Dante Moore. And he was a little underwhelming, if we want to be honest about it. Dan Lanning said that the defense ruled the day. Nothing really stood out on the offense. Moore's been with the program for over a year now, right? And he sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year. The year before, he actually got some playing time and experience as a freshman, playing for Chip Kelly when he was the head coach at UCLA back then. So, look, he's got experience, going to figure it out. Early in camp, defenses are sometimes ahead of offenses. I wouldn't worry too much about it at this point. I think there's a lot of talent on that offense, but I also think there's a lot of talent on that Oregon defense this year. They may be one of the big stories in the Big Ten this year. So let's keep an eye on that. Some promising news at Huskers camp. Defensive back Donovan Jones is turning some heads. The redshirt freshman may be pushing for some playing time at either corner or safety. He can play both. And true freshman defensive lineman Cade Peterzik. He's been impressing the coaches as well. He was a 4-star out of North Dakota. And so we're keeping an eye on him. But not all news has been good for Nebraska here on defense. Defensive back Blyle Hill. He tore a ligament in his knee. At practice, he's going to be out for the season. So some bad news there. Speaking of youngsters grabbing attention, Michigan true freshman Ty Haywood is impressing people with his work on the offensive line. Now, it's rare that a true freshman could come right in at Michigan or any of our regular big boy schools like Ohio State or Penn State that's known for just cranking out offensive linemen every year. To come in for a true freshman and play, that would be pretty rare. Plus, this kid Haywood came in late. He was a summer enrollee, so he wasn't here in the spring. He's just settling in. He's from Denton, Texas. He was a 4-star, 6'5", 285, only going to get bigger. But the question now becomes whether to redshirt him right now and then, be bigger, stronger, older, or let him play right away. That's one we're going to keep an eye on for a while. Speaking of Michigan, we'll keep it here for a while. Yesterday, we talked about Michigan freshman Shamari Earls. And we'll talk about him again because he was just asked, what is it about players from Virginia coming to Michigan? He's from Chester, Virginia. And his answer was, well, we're about to get another one. Everybody's ears perked up, eyes opened up, because that would be big, big, big news for Michigan. All eyes are on Virginia high school 5-star running back Savion Hiter, who is expected to announce next week where he is going to go to school. And Michigan has been all in on this recruit. And if they can get him, that would just cap off this recruiting class this year. It's apparently between Michigan and Tennessee. But I don't know if Shamari Earls was just talking or if he has some insight, some hometown good feels saying, hey, yeah, another Virginia kid, he's going to come here. We don't know. But maybe he's leaning to coming to Michigan. That would be a huge deal for Sharon Moore. And again, a fabulous 2026 class would just be capped off by getting the 5-star running back. And that's not all. Michigan got 4-star quarterback Peter Bork from Marion, Massachusetts. He just committed to the Maize and Blue. That gives Michigan its 4th straight top 10 quarterback in 4 straight recruiting classes. Pretty good. That's pretty good. And got some Buckeye basketball news, actually. So we all know the story of the Buckeyes, right? They've been struggling in basketball. They've missed the last 3 NCAA tournaments. And, they're not happy about it. They're trying to get it fixed. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. But the Buckeyes class of 2026 for basketball is ranked 4th in the nation right now. They're really doing a great job. 4-stars Marcus Johnson and Alex Smith are 2 in-state players. They're on their way already. And this weekend, a top 35 recruit, 6'5" small forward, Luca Foster from Pennsylvania, who's actually playing at Link Academy in Missouri. He visited the Buckeyes this weekend on an official visit. And the Buckeyes, though, it's not a done deal yet, even though everything seems to be pointing to a good sign here. They're competing with Villanova and Oklahoma. Michigan, by the way, wants in on this kid. Gonzaga, Virginia, and Georgetown all in. So, yeah, quick peek at basketball as we're getting ready to kick off the football season. If you're new or if you just discovered Locked On Big Ten, we always close out with amazing features at the end of our podcast here. Coming up next, Mondays, we do our top 10 Big Ten observations. We always list them. That's always fun. Great talking points there. Tuesdays, we do Tuesday tweets. You follow us on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. If you put something good there, I'll put it on Tuesday's podcast. Wednesdays, we like to power rank stuff. That's coming up next. I'll tell you what that's all about. Tomorrow, Thursdays, we always look at the Big Ten Network. Even though we're not affiliated with them, we have similar interests. I always pull the Big Ten Classics, highlight a few things you might want to watch over the weekend from yesteryear that are always cool. And then Fridays is our pick segment. We always do that. But being in the middle of the week, coming up next, we got our power rankings. Got some fun here. All right. We always have fun, to be honest with you. The 20 best stadium songs during games. Get everybody all fired up. It's a list from Bro Bible. We didn't come up with it. We're just going to comment on it. That's coming up next right here in 1 minute on Locked On Big Ten. All right, it is time for our feature segment, and Wednesdays we like to power rank stuff. So we're going to power rank stadium songs. Get that crowd rocking and rolling. We're going to put it on a list, and if you are audio only, no problem. I'm just going to list the team and the stadium and what song they have that everybody seems to love to get everybody all fired up. So here's the list. And again, this is from Bro Bible. They put it out. Most of the times we come up with our own stuff. Sometimes we'll take somebody else's list and comment on it, good or bad. Nothing wrong with that. Their list, they had Alabama, Dixieland Delight at Bryant-Denny Stadium, getting everybody fired up. Number 1, though, I don't know. Is that number 1 in your mind? Let me know in the comments on that. Staying in the SEC, following that is LSU and calling Baton Rouge. I got to get to a night game there at LSU. I hear it's unreal. The atmosphere. There's a lot of people that have had a few adult beverages. That's what I've heard. And then they do call in Baton Rouge out there, get everybody fired up. All right, and number 3, and obviously you could tell not all these. I think we got 6 Big Ten teams on this list of 20. Again, this is from Bro Bible. We're looking at their list. At number 3, Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman by Metallica. And I mean, when that guitar is rolling, that is one of the coolest entry songs. These aren't all entry songs. Some of these songs schools play in the middle, maybe going from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. But Virginia Tech plays that at the beginning when the kids come out of the tunnel and they all wait there, get all fired up, and everybody starts dancing around. Then you hear the intro there to Enter Sandman, and then the kids explode onto the field and everybody goes nuts. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Metallica played this summer at their stadium there at Virginia Tech this summer, I believe. All right, here's an example of one that is not the beginning of the game. It's going from the third to the fourth quarter at Michigan, Mr. Brightside by the Killers. I've told you this before, and this is a very unpopular opinion by me, according to some, that I don't get it. I don't get it. Look, everybody is all warm and fuzzy at the big house. They like this song. It gets them fired up. They've only been doing this for a few years, about a decade or so. Look, it's a song about catching your significant other cheating on you. I don't know how that fires you up to get you fired up to play in the fourth quarter. I don't like it. But anyway, that's the top Big Ten one on this list at number 4. Number 5, the Florida Gators won't back down from Tom Petty, who the late Tom Petty, who was from there, and they play that song with a lot of pride there in the swamp. Swamp's a great place to see a game if you've never been there. I actually broadcast a game there before. It was fantastic. At number 6, there you go, Wisconsin, Camp Randall, Jump Around. Everybody does that. Everybody literally jumps around while that song's going on. So that's the second highest ranking one in the Big Ten. Number 6 overall on this list from Bro Bible. And then we got West Virginia, Country Roads, Little John Denver, which doesn't really do much for me, but I guess if you're from West Virginia, it does. Florida State, the War Chant. There you go. Everybody with their hand back and forth and the War Chant. It is one of the coolest things in sports. I like that. Very cool. Florida State looking to try and bounce back from that awful year they had last year. Kentucky, Grove Street Party. It's not really ringing a bell for me. I haven't seen too many traditions at Kentucky for football, so maybe you can help me out in the comment section there. South Carolina, Sandstorm, Williams-Brice Stadium. You got those row of lights that hang over each side. They start swaying, rocking back and forth. Sandstorm, getting everybody pumped up as the kids get ready to go. It's one of the great things in sport. You could probably rank this higher than 10, to be honest. All right, so that's the top 10. We got some more. See where the rest of the Big Ten teams chime in. Penn State and USC coming in 11 and 12. So Penn State, 7 Nation Army. That's always a good vibe. Nice little street beat for you there. That sounds good. That gets everybody rolling. And then USC at number 12 with Tusk. That is from Fleetwood Mac. You got the nice drums with that. Good song. And maybe you old timers have seen the video. Fleetwood Mac used the USC marching band in their video. That was great. Georgia, Bamba O'Reilly. Oklahoma State, Friends in Low Places, coming in at number 14. At number 15, Arkansas War Pigs. Nothing says SEC like War Pigs. Out on a Saturday night. All right, then we got a couple more Big Ten teams. Oregon with the classic Shout, the old Isley Brothers song from Animal House. Everybody's rocking. Everybody loves it. That's a good one. A good tradition there at Oregon. And Iowa, Back in Black, AC/DC. Of course, Iowa wearing the black on the uniforms. I love it. Night game, everybody wearing black. You play this. Kinnick Stadium rocks when they do this. So I like that one as well. App State, Beer Never Broke My Heart. That sounds fun. Clemson with Tiger Rag. probably could rank that a little higher than 19th on this one. And then Kansas State and half the other teams in the country in college football and the NFL use Crazy Train. Of course, an ode to Ozzy, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. So this was Pro Bible's top 20 list, best stadium songs for football season coming up. What'd you think? Who got left out? Who was not ranked appropriately? Who was ranked appropriately? Hit me up in the comments section. Give me your opinion. There's no wrong answer, even though you probably think there is a wrong answer. There is no wrong answer. Go ahead and hit us up with the comments on that. That'll be some fun with that. All right, we are rolling through another week. We're getting a little closer to the start of the season. We can't wait. We're very excited about all that. If you are watching, you're probably a Big Ten fan. You probably know another Big Ten fan, whether it be family member, alum, former college roommate. They might not know we're out here every single day, just growing like crazy. It's one of the fastest growing podcasts in America because we're one of the most unique, both video and audio, all 18 teams, Big Ten, news every day, analysis of that news, and we're not afraid to give you opinion on that news every single day. That's what makes us so unique. We're here every day, growing like by 1,000 subscribers every month. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free. Hit that subscribe button, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. But do tell your friends about us. In fact, hit that little share button, a little share arrow. Send it away. Send this video to one of your best friends if they're a Big Ten fan. All right, so check us out. We'll be back again tomorrow as well. And after this, feel free to check out a second listen of yesterday's podcast in case you missed it. We talked about both John Gruden and maybe coming back to coaching a Big Ten team. Jimbo Fisher coming back to a Big Ten team. We talked about that as well in yesterday's podcast. In the meantime, many ways for you to interact on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. Don't forget our website, talkbig10 with the number 10.com, where all of our podcasts go. Plus, there are links for your favorite school merchandise there too. Talkbig10.com. Hit that subscribe button. Check out a second listen, or check out a second listen of our friend from the Portal Show, Brian Smith, there every day. It's also a very fast growing podcast there on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. That will do it for us. Can't wait till we meet again tomorrow. Tell your friends about us. I'm Craig Sheeman for Locked On Big Ten.